All right, so here's our semester review. Here we go. The square root parent graph is reflected across the x-axis and translated 5 units to the right. Identify the equation. So remember, when you have a parent, so the parent function is just for a square root. It's going to look like this. Root of x. So if we're going to reflect across the x-axis, it's going to have a negative in front. And then if it's translated 5 units to the right, that's an insider, and it's a lie. So it's going to be -4. Not out to the right. You can't put it after the square root sign because that's vertical. So left or right goes underneath the square root sign, and it is a lie. So -4. Sorry. -5. That's what I should have said. All right, let's simplify this expression. Whenever you have a power or an exponent outside, you're going to, it's not really distribution. You're going to be making sure you apply this to this and this to this. Okay, so you're going to have -4, you're going to have 3 cubed, and then you're also going to have a squared to the third power. Okay, now whenever you have a power to a power, that's when you multiply these. Okay, so first of all, what's 3 to the third power? First of all, it's not 6, and second of all, it's not 9. 3 to the third power is 3 times 3 times 3. You're multiplying 3 times, and you should get 27. And then a squared cubed, okay, power to another power, or an exponent with another exponent. You multiply the 2 times 3, and you get a to the power of 6. It's not 5. Okay, it is 6. Okay, and then your last step, you take the -4 times 27, get -108. And then a to the power of 6. Alrighty. Cool. It's one term, so you're not multiplying -4 times the a to the 6 or anything, because that's just part of the one term. Okay. All right, number 3. When you have a square root on both sides, if the square roots match, then you can square both sides, and it's going to eliminate square root signs. 5x plus 8, x minus 4. When x is on both sides, we get rid of the smaller x. So -1x here, -1x here. I get 4x plus 8 equals -4. Get rid of that loner on the left, so -8. -4 minus 8 is -12. And then to get rid of this coefficient 4, we divide by 4. -12 over 4 is -3. Cool. All right. Over here, solve for x. I want to get rid of a cube root. The opposite of a cube root is just cubed. So to get rid of the cube root, I cube both sides. Cancels this out, so x minus 7 equals 2 cubed. It's 2 times 2 times 2. That is not 6. It's not 5. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. And then your last step is to add 7 to get rid of that loner, and we get x equals 15. Then we want to find the inverse equation. To find an inverse, we turn f of x into a y. Okay, then we need to switch x and y. So x equals cube root of y minus 9. Step 3, we solve for y. So to get the y by itself, first to get rid of the loner, -9, by adding 9 to both sides, and plus 9 will go after that x. X plus 9 equals cube root of y. Once again, Opposite of a cube root is to cube it. So to get y by itself, I cube this side, and if I cube that side, I'm going to take a parentheses on the left and cube that whole left side. Final step is I write it as an inverse function with inverse notation, x plus 9 in parentheses squared. Sorry, cubed. It's not just the 9 that's cubed, it's the whole x plus 9. Okay. Number 6, perimeter of the figure is defined as the sum of all the sides. That means you got to add them up. Okay. Find the perimeter of the figure below. So we're going to add this, this, and this. Okay. X squared plus 6 plus x plus x minus 9. Let's start with the highest degree, x squared. There's only one x squared, so it's going to be x squared. Then let's talk about our x terms. I have a 1x plus a 1x. Together, that gives me 2x. And then my constants are 6 minus 9. 6 minus 9 is negative 3. That polynomial is my answers. Cool. Now, on the next one, this is tricky. Do you see this? Subtraction on number 7. When you're subtracting, you're going to make that a negative 1, and you have to distribute it. All that really is going to do is change all the signs, the positive, negative signs, of your second parentheses. So this minus turns into a plus, and all three of these signs change, because a negative 2 times a negative 1 is a positive 2. Negative 7 times negative 1 is a positive 7. 8 times a negative 1 is a minus 8. Okay. You got to do that step for subtraction. And then your next steps are to combine like terms. So 5x cubed is the only cubed. Then we have 3x squared plus 2x squared, which is 5x squared. I have one x term. And I have two constants. Negative 8 minus 8 is negative 16. Cool. All right. Number 8. Now, simplifying the expression, if there's nothing between it, this is multiplying. And when you multiply something like this, you have to double distribute or even triple distribute. So this times this, and this. X times x squared is x cubed. X times 5x is 5x squared. X times negative 7 is negative 7x. You do the same thing with the second term, negative 2 times all three of these. So negative 2 times x squared is negative 2x squared. Negative 2 times 5x is negative 10x. Negative 2 times negative 7 is positive 14. And then once again, we combine like terms. The only cubed I have is here, right? 5x squared minus 2x squared. Together that makes 3x squared. Negative 7x minus 10x is negative 17x. And I have one constant, plus 14. Cool. All right. Factoring. Fun. All right, so when we're doing this, we can do we can do grouping. We can do other methods of factoring. Okay, but let's go ahead and take these two, factor them, take these two and factor them. So what goes into both x cubed and 8x squared? So if this has 3 x's, this has 2 x's, I know that 2 of them are in common. So I have x plus 8 left over. And then over here, what goes into 4 and 32? 4. When I divide them, I'm left with x. 32 divided by 4 is 8. When you do this, you got to ask, do these match? X plus 8, those match. Okay, so that's going to come down here as x plus 8. And then your other parentheses, you're going to write this, each of these new coefficients, x squared plus 4. That's it. You're factored. So you factor two terms, the matching parentheses bring it down, the two coefficients go into their own parentheses out front. All right. All right, long division or synthetic division. Synthetic division is fun. All right, so remember we need to find the opposite of this minus 9. Opposite. So it's positive 9. That's going to go right here. And then I'm going to write all my coefficients up top. So I have third power, second power, first power, no power. So it's going to be 4, negative 31, negative 39, negative 54. 4, negative 31, negative 39, negative 54. You're going to bring this down. That's 4. And then you're going to multiply times 9. 4 times 9 is 36. And you're going to add up and down. So negative 31 plus 36 is 5. And then once again, you're going to multiply. 5 times 9 is 45. And then vertically, you're going to add. Negative 39 plus 45 is 6. 9 times 6 is 54. And your last step, add these together, you get 0. So there's no remainder, and that's great. So this was power 3. So I'm going to use these 3 using 1 less power. So 4 is going to be in front of the x squared, because that's 1 less than 3, plus 5x plus 6. Okay. You might have to look back at your notes from when we did synthetic division to remember how to divide these. Okay. Number 11, polynomial has a factor. Find the other factors and write the functions in factored form. Once again, you can use synthetic division. So if we have x is negative 3, you want to use the opposite of negative 3. It's going to be positive 3. And we're going to write down all these coefficients, 1, 5, negative 17, negative 21. So 1 times 3 is 3. Add them up to get 8. 8 times 3 is 24. Add them up to get 7. 7 times 3 is 21. Add them up to get 0. No remainder. That's great. All right, so now we can write x not to the power 3, but x to the power 1. So we have 1, or just x squared, plus 8x plus 7. Okay. So when we divided out x minus 3, we got this. But can we factor that even further? This 7, the only factors are 1 and 7, negative 1, negative 7. Which one of these factors will add up to make positive 8? That one, right? So I could really split this into two parentheses, x plus 1 and x plus 7. Now, if that's the case, then I have these two factors right here, x plus 1, x plus 7, and I have the original x minus 3. So my final answer is going to be that x minus 3, and then these two other ones, x plus 1, x plus 7. Cool. All right, simplify the expression. What we're going to have to do on these is we need to factor each of these. Okay, so if we're going to factor this one, okay, 49 factors into 1, 49, negative 1, negative 49, 7, 7, negative 7, negative 7. Which one adds up to make 14? Well, it's going to be 7 and 7. And then for this one, for negative 21, you got 1 times negative 21, negative 1 times 21, 3 times negative 7, negative 3 times 7. Which one of these adds up to make positive 4? going to be this one. So let's rewrite this. 2x minus 3 on top over, using these two numbers, x minus 3, x plus 7. Times, on top over here, we're going to use 7 and 7, x plus 7, x plus 7. On the bottom, we have 2 times x. Now, since we're multiplying, we can start canceling things out that match on top and bottom. So on the top, I have x minus 3 with the bottom x minus 3. On top, I have a 2, and the bottom has a 2. There's an x plus 7 and an x plus 7. So what is left? Well, on top, there's x plus 7. And on the bottom, it's hard to see, but there's just an x here. That's it. All right. For 13, it says dividing. So remember, dividing is the same thing as multiply by the reciprocal. Reciprocal. Which is the flip version of the second fraction. So 8 over x times, flip it over, 6x to the 4th over 3. All right, so we're going to do on top 8 times 6, 48. X to the 4th stays on top. X times 3, it's 3x. All right, so what's 48 divided by 3? You get 16. And then when you have a power on top and bottom, you do top minus bottom. Okay. Or you do the biggest minus the smallest, and you put it on the biggest side. So 4 minus 1 is 3. It's on top with the 16. So it's 16, x to the 3rd power. You could put it over 1, but that's it. Cool. To simplify this expression, we need a common, the least common denominator, LCD. Okay. 2 and 5, the least common denominator is 10. So I need to get 10 for both of these fractions. I can only add them if they have the same denominator. So to get the same denominator of 10, I'm going to have to multiply the first one times 5 on the bottom and the top. And I multiply the second one times 2 on the bottom and the top. So really, it's going to be 5x over 10 plus 16 over 10. Now that the bottom, the denominator matches, now we can add the top. So I end up getting 5x plus 16 over 10. Cool. That's not for you. 15, solve for x. When the fractions are equal, that's when you're going to cross multiply and divide. So 5 times 4x minus 2 looks like this. Just put them next to each other. Equals, and then cross multiply again, 3 times 2x plus 6. You put them next to each other like this. And then you can distribute. 5 times this, 5 times this. 5 times 4 is 20x. 5 times negative 2 is negative 10. 3 times 2 is 6x. 3 times 6 is 18. You get rid of the smaller x. 14x minus 10 equals 18. Get rid of the loner, plus 10 plus 10. 14x equals 28. And then you divide by the coefficient, 14, and you get x equals 2. Cool. All right. The number of days to complete varies inversely with the number of men to complete the job. If 20 men complete the job in 30 days, 20 times 30, how many days will it take 10 men to complete the same job x? We don't know how many days, right? 20 times 30 is 600 equals 10x. And you divide by 10, you get 60 days. All right. 17. identify the equations, the vertical and horizontal asymptotes. Start with the vertical. Okay, it's going straight up and down. Okay, and you use this number, that's a lie, to do it, or you look at the graph where it's going right here. They're both going to be -4. This is a lie. This is -4. It's going through the x-axis, so the vertical asymptote is x equals -4. Then the horizontal, going left and right, it goes through +5. Again, you can use this number for horizontal. Horizontal is going through this point, touching the y-axis, y equals +5. Okay. Number 18, solving for x. If they have the same base, you can eliminate the base and just write the exponents to each other, and then solve. I get rid of the smaller x, -1x, -1x. I get 2x plus 7 equals nothing, which is 0. Get rid of the loner, -7, -7. That gives me 2x equals -7. And then I can divide by the coefficient to get my answer. Cool. Gx is a transformation of f of x, so you start here, and you end up over here. So if you know it starts with 2 to the x, then g of x is what? Well, you're going to have the 2 to the x, but it shifted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to the right. So right 6, and it goes down 3. So remember, in the exponent, that's where your insider, right 6 is going to be -6, because up top is in the parentheses, it's a lie, horizontal. And then the down 3 is going to be just a big old -3 out here. That's where your vertical changes. Okay? Cool. You purchase a new car for $25,000. The value of the car is depreciating by 3.5% each year. You own it. Let T represent time, years since you purchased the car. Let PT be the value of the car. Write an equation that models the situation. Okay, so we do have formulas for this. Y equals P 1 plus R to the power of T. So let T represent the year since you purchased the car. So we're going to leave T the way it is. So my P principal is what I start with. My rate is this. Once I move it, the decimal 2 to the right. So if I move it 2 to the left, I get 0.035. Okay. So my Y is going to equal 25,000. Oh, my bad. 1.1 plus, since we're adding, depreciating is subtract, right? So 1 minus 0.035 to the power of T. All right. Use an exponential regression to write a function. So when we go to lists and spreadsheets in your calculator, I cannot pull it up on here, unfortunately. So you go in there, X and Y at the top, you type this in, thank you, and then you do menu 41A, right? And once you type that in, it'll give you, format is going to be Y equals a times b to the power of x. Okay. Now remember, a is your starting value, or your y-intercept. So technically, your a value is on this table right there, and then your b value is going to be your common ratio. Okay. So just so you know, you can do 1 minus 0 is 1. Sorry, 1 to, as this is going up 1, but 200 over 100 is a half. So your b value is that. So y equals 400, 0.5 to the x. All right. So you start with 400, and it's going half each time, power of x. All right, let's rewrite this log equation. The base of a log becomes your new exponential base. What it equals is the exponent, and that equals the argument 1296. And then if you're working backwards, you write log. The base of the exponent becomes the base of the log. What it equals becomes the argument, and it always equals the exponent. Cool. You should be able to solve some of these. To get rid of the coefficient, you divide by 2, and you divide by 2. So you get 3 to the x equals 27. All right, and then you got to make this a log. So log base 3 of 27 x. Now you're going to have to do it because I can't show you. You go to your calculator. You're going to press, Control 10 to the x. That's how you get your log. Base 3, go to the right, 27. So x equals 3. Use your calc to plug that in. Okay. Last one. If this log x has been changed to this, okay, please remember, insiders lie left to right. Outsiders don't lie, they're up and down. So this thing goes left 3 and down 4. You could also graph and compare. All right, and that's your review for your final.